So I will dedicate this webinar to one of the most important activities in a manufacturing company, or any company for that matter, namely sales. We can design and manufacturing the most incredible products and solutions ever seen, but if we don't sell them, we won't make any money and we can just shut down the business and go home, right? How to connect and collaborate to improve your bid and tender process. So I've been in sales for more than 25 years now, and I know that selling customized complex products and solutions is not easy. Already in the early stage of the quotation phase, we are dependent on many people within and outside our organization in our search for information. We have engineering for technical issues, marketing for collaterals, purchasing for pricing. We have production and logistics, or maybe sub-suppliers for delivery times, and sometimes also the legal department gets involved. And independent of what you're selling, there's often a lot of information to be conveyed. Product specifications, drawings, layouts, data tables, exploded views, pictures, videos, diagrams, spare part lists, certificates, and NDAs, just to mention a few. And one challenge is that many of the stakeholders I just mentioned are somehow locked into silos. Maybe not literally, but many times we tend to organize ourselves and work in an isolated manner. And not only are people and competences hidden in these silos, but also sometimes very important information. And even within the silos, information might be hidden in different systems or folders or in a server somewhere, or even worse, in one of your colleagues' laptops who unfortunately happens to be on holiday. Maybe not the laptop, but the person himself. So I think we tend to spend a lot of time searching for information, modifying the information along the way, and from there, the information starts to live its own life in different versions and names, depending on to whom and when they were sent. And soon enough, we start to lose track of things. And I think when you hear me reminding you of these scenarios, I think we all realize that this is a complex and costly process in terms of time, money, and resources. So this inefficient reality is hindering sales in working swift and agile, which I think is key in today's world of high pace and high expectations. But I think most importantly, it is keeping us from closing business and closing deals. And it is highly impacting negatively on our hit ratio and our healthy bottom line. Okay, so now I have been whining a bit about my daily life as a sales guy, but what about the other side? Our potential customer who is asking for a tender have challenges as well. Putting together a professional RFQ for a technically advanced solution is not a walk in the park. And most likely, they have spent a lot of time exploring the terrain and put together a requirement specification. But have they covered everything? Have they rated their needs and wishes correctly? If the procurement includes services, they also may have filed for an NDA. And we know that both NDAs and specifications can change along the way. So these are all additional stakeholders with their documents and their information to be shared and sometimes changed and even revised. And I think what we unfortunately can be quite completely sure of is that somewhere in this value chain between sales, customers, engineering, purchasing, subcontractors, and legal, there will be misunderstandings. What? Didn't you get my email? Ah, okay, but that was my first draft. The second I sent you, the one with the underscore latest, didn't you see that one? I think you all understand where we're going with this. But when you hopefully got all the misunderstandings solved and the quote has actually left the building, I guess you can just sit there and wait for the signature on the dotted line, right? But what is usually happening here? 2 weeks has already passed and not a sign from my prospect or my customer. Why don't I hear from them? At least they should have given me some kind of feedback or a sign. And here, I would like to emphasize the importance of being able to articulate the value of your solution and to build trust. Because if you haven't done that properly, it will backfire. And the first indication of that failure is actually of doing that is what we call, or at least I call, radio silence. And what the customer is most likely occupied with now is risk mitigation. They might be wondering if you as a vendor is big enough to handle their demands, or they might be thinking about if the solution or your proposal live up to their expectations in terms of performance. So, to summarize the challenges I just talked about, I think we all can suffer from communication issues where stakeholders are kept in silos and information is hard to find. We may have difficulties in showing and proving the value of our solutions in a fast and easy way. I think we are also sometimes suffering from keeping track on versions of information that many times leads to misunderstandings. So let's move on how to see how me and Charles and PLM Group can help you address these challenges. And I think, first of all, let's start with breaking down those silos. So as I said earlier, PLM Group is a certified reseller of Dassault Systèmes, and we offer the cloud-based business platform called 3D Experience Platform for the manufacturing companies. And on this platform, you can invite and connect all the stakeholders related to your bid process for collaboration and information exchange in one single interface. It's already pre-set up with processes and governance for data management, including documents, pictures, videos, product structures, and 3D CAD data. And since it's being 100% cloud-based, 3D Experience needs no installation and is ready to use out of the box with dedicated apps depending on what role you have within your company or outside your company. So there's actually an app for everyone here. For you in sales, but also for engineers, purchasing, manufacturing, sub-suppliers, partners, and even customers. And once you're all logged into the 3D Experience platform, you can start collaborate and share information. You can do that informally, using more of a Facebook style approach, or you can apply governance and create projects for each and every of your different bid opportunities, including task and resource management. Or most likely, I think you will be doing a combination of these two. Either way, you can communicate with all stakeholders in one single environment, making sure you all are working on the correct version of information with full traceability. So you could go back and see why, with whom, and when you took a certain decision. And once you have your engineering department connected to the platform, you, as a salesperson, will be able to search and navigate from a structured portfolio of product information, including 3D data. Now, this is an extremely efficient reuse of company know-how, and it will make it possible for you as a technical salesperson to actually create your own 3D layouts by just dragging and dropping your findings to a layout scene. And I have, together with my colleague, just created a quick video just to show you how that looks like. So in this case, we are reusing a 3D layout from another customer just to shorten your sales cycles a little bit, but we're adding another equipment. In this case, I believe we are adding just a traditional conveyor to the layout. So this is the actual user phase you as a salesperson will be able to handle, where you can actually look at product structures as well if that's needed. But at the very right corner, you can actually see this 3D layout being presented. So this is your tool where you easily can drag and drop your equipment and create that first 3D layout. And I think at this stage, there's no need for you to spend that too much time specifying it exactly. This is just a great tool to collaborate with your prospect or end customer. You can do this live, or you can do it at the comfort from your desk at home. And you're also able to just spin it around, position it in different views, and adding measurements. So I will actually fast forward a little bit here. And here you can see my colleague Jimmy is positioning some measurements to this equipment just by clicking on the actual 3D data. And then he's able to put it in some different views and adding some more measurements. And I think I will fast forward to the very end here, where we actually put a measurement on the height, making sure this footprint and the size of this equipment will fit the facilities of your prospect or customer, or even will get through the door or gate. So, to summarize this, like I said, you can create your own 3D layout by just dragging and dropping your findings to a layout scene. And since all apps are web-based, they can be reached from anywhere on a PC or a tablet, and you can actually even do this on your smartphone. And with this specific app, you can reuse layouts from previous projects, or you can start from scratch. You can do measurements, you can do markups from the comfort of your desk or live at the customer visit. Now, if the customer is demanding features, If the customer is demanding features outside your standards or is asking for specific solutions, you can now create a task and hand the layout over to your engineering department. So let's take a quick look at that. Here you are now as a salesperson. You're actually creating a small new project because you would like to involve your engineering department. So you create a new project, name it. And once that's created, behind the scenes, there will be a traditional Gantt scheme where you can add resources and so forth. But today we'll just focusing on adding a task. So now we are adding a task that we would like to send to our colleagues in engineering. So I have created the task, and now I just need to do some traditional task management. I need to, of course, assign a person who will be responsible for the task. In this case, Jimmy, my colleague, put me. And then, which is very important here, we attach the actual 3D layout that I want my engineers to look at. We are not doing any copy here or doing any PowerPoint sketches or anything. We are using the 3D layout, and it's now sent over to my engineer for more refinement. So that to do is now in my schedule or in my dashboard as a product manager for this specific bid, and it will show up in Nicklas' case in his to-do list as well. So to summarize this, if the customer is demanding features outside your standards or is asking for specific solutions, you can actually create a task and hand the layout over to engineering department. And when they can start using their CAD tools to do changes and replacements to further refine the offer. And note, like I said, we are attaching a link to the 3D layout we just made, making sure we are all working on the correct version that exists in only one place. No copies flying around causing trouble downstreams. So once the engineering department are ready with this, with the changes, and you will get the new layout for them, you are ready to go back to your prospect to communicate and share this new design. And this enables what we call full digital continuity without any other software tool, exports or imports, breaking that value chain. Everything we do is connected and it's fully traceable. So this is also a great way to communicate your know-how and articulate the value of your proposal. And to build even more trust and avoiding that radio silence situation that I mentioned a little bit earlier, you may let your layout pay another visit to the engineering department, and this time to have them help prove the equipment performance. And by simulating machine behavior runtimes, like we see now in the pictures. I'm sorry for not having the actual layout I previously showed you, but this is just to show you that the more we can demonstrate and prove the value of our solution, the bigger is the chance that your prospect selects your proposal and not your competitors. Let your competition end up in that radio silence, not you. Okay? So, to sum up, using the cloud-based 3D experience platform, we can actually shorten sales cycle by easily locating and reusing relevant equipment from a structured product portfolio. We can make quick introduction of 3D layouts, including footprint measurements, and share that with our prospects. We can create tasks to involve our engineering department for further detailing by reusing our already made 3D layout. And with the help from engineering, we can prove the equipment performance. And finally, present and visualize this value to our prospect or customer. And simultaneously, while doing this, we have been collaborating with and kept track on all our stakeholders and every document revision related to this final offer. So what we have done now is that we have avoided radio silence by building higher trust, and hopefully we got ourselves a happy customer. And I think in addition to all this, we have kept what we called digital continuity. Every addition to the proposed solution has been made in the same cloud-based environment with an unbroken value chain. And what is also very interesting about this is that we now have created a digital twin. So if the customer a few years later wants to upgrade or try out a new solution, we can test and do all those changes and simulations on our virtual twin before we propose or make any kind of physical changes to the on-site equipment. So this is also a great way of communicating with your customer in the after-sales market. You can actually have your customer logging in and get access to this digital twin, and all your collaboration with your end customer can work on the platform as well.